Hi guys. So I'm trying out my Wakanda Forever. Look, I hope it's working. My earrings are by She Art, Wanjiru from She Art. Thank you so much. You are totally amazing. People need to check her out. Okay, so today, speaking of Wakanda Forever, and people like Wanjiru from She Art who have dreams that they have seen to fruition. That's what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about the hustle and the things we do for the hustle. Now, of course, you know I'm a writer if you've been following me. And I've written for different spectrums. Like I started out writing plays in church. And those plays went and won some awards. And I thought, wow, okay, so I can really write. This is good. Somebody else, apart from me and my family and my mother and my father, think I can write. Fantastic. Then I went on to write books which never really went anywhere. They were just kind of like things I wrote to get stories out of the way. And my friend and I would sit, and she'd write a book and I'd write a book, and we'd kind of like switch over and give each other notes and give each other ideas for what to do next and what your characters should do next. And we would spend hours and hours and hours on this. And on during the school holidays, she would come to my place, and my mother would just marvel, like, what are these children doing? And we'd just sit at the dining table and write the whole day. It was breakfast, write, lunch, write, supper, write. Until I think at some point she wanted to confiscate our books and make us go out and run around in circles or something. So we did that. And that was like through high school, after high school. And sometimes I'd go to her place and we do the exact same thing. So we were building our craft without knowing that we were building our craft. We were pretty much just doing what we enjoy, and that's what we did. And I guess somewhere between college and, I don't know, 10 years were what I would probably call my lost years, because I did the practical thing now, like you doing the thing that your parents want you to do, or you're doing the normal thing, the expected thing, and of course you're doing your plan B thing. So I did that, and I'll come back to those years on a different video probably. But I know when I got back to Kenya from the UK, and this was in 2010, and one of the reasons I came back was I realized out there, which I did, TV, script writing for TV and film out in London. But it was so hard. It was so hard to break the market, because why would somebody hire you? I mean, you're black, you're African, you're Kenyan, and you're competing with people who are locals. They're locals, so they know the culture, they know the language, they know the nuances. I'm not saying this cannot be done. It can be done. People have done it. But it was so hard. And I just remember thinking, okay, I can be out here struggling to get my work out, or I can go home, and while I'm home, I can try and see if I can somehow break in. I mean, Kenya was a relatively new market back then. Not a lot of people were doing film or writing for fiction or any of that stuff. Not a lot of people were doing it. So I thought, fine, let me go in and let me do this. And the very first thing I did, no, sorry, that was 206, not 2010, 206. And in 206, I arrived, and somebody told me about this company. I'm not going to name them. Somebody told me about this company that was always looking for writers because they did a lot of plays. So went in, sat with them in a meeting. They asked me, what's my story, where am I from, blah, blah, blah. And I told them, I laid it out. I said, this is my name. This is what I'm interested in. And then they said, great, we're doing a show. In fact, we're moving from musicals, and we now want to do straight up plays. So write for us a play. And we wrote a contract. They gave me a contract. Like, I walked in through the door and I said my name. And I pitched. I had never pitched a writing gig before. Out in the UK, you would hardly ever get a face-to-face, or I hadn't gotten to the point where I got a face-to-face. I'd send out my script and I'd get replies back saying, okay, this is great, this is excellent. However, try blah, blah, blah. But I'd never actually sat down with somebody and pitched. So this time around, I got to pitch. And I remember just walking out of there with this sample contract in my hand, thinking, oh my God, these guys have actually given me a job. I couldn't believe it. Like, do they know? I mean, what if I'm totally shit? What happens then? And so, and it was for an amount, like, I was thinking, I'm getting paid this to write something? I was ecstatic. So I went home, told my sisters, told my brothers, this has happened, I'm writing this thing. And we got down to writing. And the script I used was one that I had used for one of my church plays. Before I even left for campus or anything, before I even left Kenya. So I kind of just tweaked it and I made it, older. I was older now. So I made it slightly older. It was deeper. And the play was staged and it went well. And I never got paid for it. Did I get paid anything for it? No, I don't think I got paid anything for it. If I did, it was a very minimum amount. So what was on the contract never happened. And I think that was one of my first hits because I had arrived on the scene and it was like, yo, man, Kenya has been waiting for me and here I am. And apart from this script that I did, there was also somebody else, again, I'm not naming anybody, who was doing a musical production. Now, this was a musical, and he was looking for someone to help him turn his music into a script or to tweak the script and to direct it. Once again, folks, the last time I directed anything was in church. And yes, we won awards. And yes, one of the nominations we got was Best Director for me and my friend Mike Muthengi, because we were directing this thing together. But I had never done this thing professionally. Like, we did it in church from volunteers with teenagers who had no clue what we were doing. We were just having fun. So even when we were being nominated, we were like, hala, yo, man, this thing is actually good. So when this other guy asked me to direct his musical play, there's a part of me that's like, yes, I can do this. But then you're also side-eye, like, why aren't these people asking me for a resume? Why aren't they asking me for anything? They're just saying, yes, do it. And so we did. And it was amazing. Like, to date, it is on my bucket list. I'm going to go back and look for this guy and say, listen, we need to do this musical. And we need to do it right this time. And we need to stage this thing because it was brilliant. The music was brilliant. The story was brilliant. The directing was brilliant. The acting was brilliant. Not patting myself on the shoulder. I think everything just sort of fell together. And again, it was staged and people were like, wow, and they couldn't believe it. And we filled the house, we filled, the theater. And then I got paid nothing. Again, things went wrong, blah, blah, blah. Got paid nothing. So once again, me and this lofty amount I was expecting to hit my bank, nothing hit my bank. But at the time, I think I was still in my very, woohoo, yeah, let's do this. Let's do it for the love, the passion. Plus, which my lovely sister Tandy was allowing me to live with her literally for free and, just chip in for a few bills and stuff. So I had the leeway then to kind of like play around with it. Now, why I'm saying this is that at the beginning, I think, of any journey of a dream, things are usually perfect, or you feel like the universe is conspiring with you and for you. And that is because the universe is, or God is. Because when you're setting off, I believe you need to sort of see the possibility of greatness to encourage you to keep on working this dream even through the wilderness. Now, we had hit setbacks. A lot of these things I ended up doing with my brother because I used to rope Ronnie into everything. And he was so kind enough to take time out to help me do some of my crazy, productions and stuff. So it was the beginning of my dream. And I had no idea what was ahead of me. I thought, I am about to make it, yo, and I haven't even tried. And that is not how it happened. There were many pitfalls and a lot of debts incurred and a lot of doubt and a lot of, okay, maybe I should jump back mainstream and, go and be a receptionist or something somewhere. But we kept going. So I think this is everybody's journey. If you're on a dream that means anything to you, you will go through this different sections and these different parts of the road. But if you stick it out, I believe strongly that zeal and passion at the beginning and those doors opening like magic come full circle, and you encounter that again at the end, or on top of the mountain, I should say, not at the end, because it's not the end. And the difference now is you will actually know what you're talking about. You will know what your journey was for. You will know yourself better. And whatever prize you get, you will use wisely, wiser than you would have used it if you had gotten it at the very beginning. And so today I am talking to Judge Walk, which anybody who is of the Nyanza ethnicity knows means Shetani, basically, Judge Walk, or the witch doctor. And he's a chef, and this man does exceptional stuff. He does like honey glazed pork, he does smoked chicken, smoked beef, smoked fish, absolutely amazing. And he runs a catering service called Why Not Barbecue. And Judge Walk is a banker, and at the same time, he's a full-time banker, by the way. And he's a chef, and he has opened his own restaurant in Lavington. So we're going to be talking to him about how he has walked through his journey and how he has accomplished or is accomplishing his goals, because I know he's been through some pitfalls as well. How he has done it and how he is doing it. And what does it really take to reach the top of your mountain? This is Life with Mona. Mwah.